Have you ever wondered what it's like to be the richest person on Earth? Not just by a million or a billion, but by a trillion. This is Elon Musk, the man who seemingly can do no wrong. Tesla's visionary CEO has shocked the world yet again, becoming the ultimate richest man alive, with a jaw-dropping net worth of $26.8 billion. He holds the record for longest-standing CEO of an automobile company, Tesla, adding yet another title to his name. But when this business magnate isn't revolutionizing industries, he indulges in a lifestyle of mind-boggling luxury. Let's talk about his most surprising purchase: over 3,500 acres in Bastrop, Texas. This massive stretch of land, lying just outside Austin, has been dubbed Snail Brook, a cheeky nod to his boring company. What's the vision? Picture a Texas utopia along the Colorado River. Prefabricated homes, pools, sports areas, gyms, even a charter school. It's like he's building his own world. But Texas isn't where it ends. Remember Starbase in Boca Chica, another massive project where SpaceX shoots for the stars? Of course, luxury isn't just about owning land. Remember when Musk was spotted last summer, basking in the sun on the Zeus super yacht off the coast of Greece? This 79-foot beauty is the epitome of extravagance. With 4 luxurious cabins, a sleek modern design, and amenities fit for royalty, you can see why it costs a cool $7,000 per day. From private compounds to dazzling yachts, Elon Musk defines the lifestyle of the impossibly wealthy. Elon Musk's current opulent lifestyle feels worlds away from his past. Believe it or not, he wasn't born with a silver spoon in his mouth. Born in Pretoria, South Africa, on June 28, 1971, his parents were South African and Canadian. Young Elon was always bright. By 12, he'd created a video game and sold it, but South Africa's apartheid stifled his potential. So, in 1988, armed with a Canadian passport, he left. He was tired of supporting oppression and saw greater opportunities in the United States. Elon's American journey started at Queen's University in Canada, later transferring to the University of Pennsylvania. He wasn't just partying, he earned degrees in physics and economics. In 1997, he even began a PhD at Stanford. But Silicon Valley was calling. Stanford lasted 2 days before he dropped out to pursue an online idea with his brother. That idea was Zip2, a company that gave newspapers maps and directions. Think very early Google Maps. Compaq bought it for millions in 1999. That sale was just the beginning. Elon took that money and co-founded X.com, which later became the online payment giant PayPal. When eBay bought PayPal in 2002, he made a jaw-dropping $1.5 billion. Now, that's when the billionaire lifestyle truly kicked in. Remember his $1 million McLaren F1? That was his PayPal treat. Luckily, he survived a crash, but it made him rethink his spending for a while. Elon Musk's drive to shake up the world didn't stop with cars or finance. He had something even bolder in mind: space. His belief that humanity must venture beyond Earth to survive led him to found Space Exploration Technologies, better known as SpaceX, in 2002. His initial focus was simple but revolutionary: more affordable rockets. This meant rockets like the Falcon 1, launched in 2006, and the larger Falcon 9, 2010, both designed to undercut the competition's prices while offering similar performance. Then, 2018 brought a breakthrough. The Falcon Heavy arrived. With double the payload capacity of rival rockets, yet at a fraction of the cost, it changed the game entirely. But Elon wasn't done. He unveiled the Super Heavy Starship system as the future of SpaceX, a reusable launch system designed to make space travel far more common and less expensive. This enormous rocket, with its Starship payload, isn't just about satellite launches. Musk envisions super-fast travel between cities on Earth, bases on the Moon, and even a human colony on Mars. Test flights began in 2020, proving Musk's dedication to this wild vision. He doesn't just talk, he walks the walk. Besides being SpaceX's CEO, Musk is the chief designer, overseeing everything from the Falcons to the Dragon spacecraft to the Starship. His company is more than just rockets. They're even contracted by NASA to build the lander that will return astronauts to the Moon by 2025, a key part of the Artemis program. Space wasn't Elon's only revolution. Seeing the potential in electric cars, he dove into building Tesla. It wasn't his idea initially. founded in 2004 by Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning, but under Musk's leadership, it became a force to be reckoned with. Their first big splash was the Tesla Roadster in 2006. Unlike boxy electric cars of the time, this was sporty and sleek, with a 245-mile range and a 0 to 60 time that rivaled gasoline-powered powerhouses. It proved electric cars could be cool. Funding poured in by 2010, kickstarting production of the Tesla Model S sedan 2012 and Model X SUV 2015, both huge successes. But the Model 3 in 2017, that was Musk's masterstroke. A Tesla for the masses, it became the world's best-selling electric car ever. Now, the billionaire lifestyle he'd put on hold returned with a vengeance. A $17 million mansion in Bel Air, Los Angeles was just the start. Gym, wine cellar, enormous. You get the picture. Then came a ranch house, turned into a private school for his kids, and 2 more Bel Air mansions, one still under construction. This real estate spree shows Musk's finally embracing the luxury his companies earned him. Forget the Silicon Valley uniform. Elon Musk bucks the trend of minimalist tech CEOs. He wasn't about turtlenecks and hoodies. Instead, he hired designer Emily Weiss to create a whole new image. Think rugged, vintage Americana. Young Harrison Ford, Paul Newman, those were the icons he channeled. His 2018 SXSW outfit sealed the deal. Leather bomber jacket, boots, talking Mars colonization. This wasn't just clothes. It was a statement of ambition. That style's evolved. Gone are the stylists. Now there's a swaggering Elon signature. Think oversized graphic tees, tapered jeans. He was recently spotted at SpaceX, the wind whipping at that t-shirt, and it just works. Cars are his other passion. Exotic high performance. It's about the best brands out there. His classic 67 Jaguar E-Type is legendary, despite some trouble he had with it. Then there's the everyday fleet. Audi Q7, Porsche 911, BMW M5. He needs speed and space. And of course, as Tesla's boss, there's the weird stuff. That Bond movie Lotus Submarine he paid nearly $1 million for. Lately though, the focus is Twitter. He joined in 2009, got a huge following. Then in 2022, the grand plan, buying the whole thing. But between the price and all the chaos he causes on the platform, it's proving to be one of his toughest challenges yet. Elon Musk and drama go hand in hand. In 2018, he tweeted Tesla could go private for $420 a share, saying money was no problem. Big deal? Huge. The SEC accused him of straight-up lying to investors. Lawsuits flew, despite Tesla's board fighting. Musk settled, gave up his chairman title for 3 years, had lawyers read every tweet, plus a $20 million fine. Ouch. But he couldn't leave Twitter alone. He bashed their moderation, calling himself a free speech absolutist. By 2022, it wasn't rants, it was a takeover bid. First 9% of the company, then a $44 billion offer to own it outright. Twitter's board shockingly said yes. Musk acted like it was done. New features, killing bots, the works. Then, surprise! July 2022, he pulls out. Claims Twitter lied about spam accounts. Lawsuit time again. Shareholders finally forced his hand, accepting his offer in September. Suddenly, Elon Musk owned Twitter, and by October was the new CEO. Elon Musk took over Twitter and chaos reigned. He slashed staff, charged for the blue checkmark, disbanded content moderation, and let Trump back on. But instead of booming business, advertisers fled. Undeterred, he even rebranded it X in July 2023. Yet, his grand plans kept hitting roadblocks. There's that billion-dollar penalty hanging over him from when he tried to ditch the Twitter buyout, plus alleged affairs, one with Google's co-founder's wife, the other resulting in secret twins with a Tesla exec. All this within a month. And that's not even mentioning the racism and sexism lawsuits. It's a lot for anyone, and Musk is cracking. He stepped down as Twitter's CEO in June 2023 and is retreating from the spotlight. Gone is the guy who'd tweet with anyone. Now, he's hanging out with far-right politicians in Italy. From tech visionary to tabloid mess, his fall from grace is as dramatic as his rise. Elon Musk's inner circle knows how to stroke his ego. While in Rome, he accepted an invitation to the fancy Atraju festival, hosted by Italy's right-wing government. But the best part? The crazy gifts. Celebrity jeweler Ben Baller made him a one-of-a-kind ring, diamond-studded, with Tesla's name and logo. Ballard gushed on Instagram about Musk inspiring him, his buddy with a Model X, and America as a whole. Valued at $37,000, it's the first time Ballard's ever given a personalized piece away. Gifts like this go hand in hand with Musk's billionaire lifestyle. He won't fly commercial, only in his private jets. That Gulfstream G650, his favorite, extra big and extra fast, perfect for those California to Texas trips. When he does land, only 5-star hotels will do. Fancy suites, the works. Unless he's pulling a workaholic all-nighter, then it's a quick nap on his factory floor. But those are the exceptions. This is a guy who lives for luxury, after all. Elon Musk's journey is a testament to the power of unwavering ambition. From a young age, he wasn't content with the status quo. He dreamt of a future beyond Earth, of electric cars sleek enough to rival gas guzzlers, and of online payment systems that revolutionize the way we transact. While his path hasn't been without its bumps, legal battles, dramatic tweets, and the ever-present challenge of turning his ambitious visions into reality, Musk has never shied away from a challenge, and he isn't your typical billionaire. While he certainly enjoys the trappings of wealth, private jets, innovative ventures like the Boring Company's tunnel systems, his focus remains on pushing boundaries. He leads multiple companies, including SpaceX, aiming for Mars colonization, and Tesla driving the electric car revolution. His wealth stems from his significant ownership in these companies, particularly Tesla. Unlike many billionaires, Musk isn't afraid to live frugally, reportedly staying in modest prefab housing near his SpaceX facilities. His billionaire lifestyle is more about fueling his ambitions than indulging in luxuries. Despite controversies surrounding his foundation's operations, Musk has made substantial charitable contributions. His foundation supports science education, renewable energy research, and pediatric healthcare causes. Notably, he's pledged to donate significant portions of his wealth to addressing critical global issues. While his approach to philanthropy may be unconventional, Musk's impact through his foundation is undeniable. His critics may scoff at the extravagance surrounding him, but perhaps it's a byproduct of a relentless drive. The sprawling estates, the private jets. These are all perks that come with building companies that have redefined entire industries. They're also a source of amusement for a man who, despite his wealth, hasn't lost his sense of humor. Remember the Dogecoin tweets? More importantly, his wealth allows him to reinvest in his audacious dreams. Snailbrook, in Texas? Not just a private utopia, but a potential testing ground for sustainable living solutions. The massive Starship rockets. Not just a vanity project, but a potential key to unlocking a multi-planetary future for humanity. Elon Musk may not be the perfect CEO, the ideal role model, or the epitome of humility, but one thing is undeniable. He's a visionary leader who constantly pushes boundaries. His companies continue to innovate, his ideas continue to inspire, and his relentless pursuit of the seemingly impossible continues to propel technological advancements at an unprecedented rate.
When you think about the question of where are the aliens, which I get asked a lot, this is like the Fermi paradox. Where are the aliens? All of human civilization is basically the blink of an eye. It's like just a fraction. It's nothing.
Elon Musk thinks we're the only ones out here in the universe. Are we really alone in this universe? Does the idea of other life out there make us rethink our place in the cosmos?
A lot of people think there are aliens on Earth, and I'm like, great, I'd like to meet one. You know, for a while there, when I was getting my green card and everything, it said alien registration card. I'm like, okay. But this question of where are the aliens is, I think, a very profound one.
Elon Musk suggests a unique way to determine a civilization's age by studying its writings. So don't underestimate the importance of written records.
And if you look at the history of Earth, like how long has Earth been around? Assuming that physics is correct, the universe is about 13.8 billion years old. Earth is about 4.5 billion years old. When you think about how old is civilization, I think the right measuring point for civilization, in my view, or a good measuring point, would be the advent of writing. So the first writing is generally considered to be the ancient Sumerians. Where are they now? They out, but about 5,500 years ago. It was archaic pre-cuneiform. In fact, I suggest it's like an interesting rabbit hole to read about the history of writing. So if you consider, say, like, okay, civilization, I think if you don't have writing, you kind of need writing for civilization.
Elon Musk says civilization's like a quick blink compared to how old the Earth and universe are, and he figures consciousness is pretty rare.
It's only been around for like a little over 5,000 years out of 4.5 billion years that Earth has been around and the 13.8 billion years of the universe. So all of human civilization is basically the blink of an eye. It's like just a fraction. It's nothing. And I think that probably means that consciousness is incredibly rare and perhaps fleeting. It may not last for very long, because otherwise I think we would have seen aliens, some kind of sign of aliens. I think the most likely explanation is that consciousness is so rare that and does that consciousness actually extend to another planet? Does that consciousness extend to another star system?
Elon Musk's all about making us a multi-planetary species, and he's eyeing Mars as our best shot at building a civilization. But are we ready for the wild ride of leaving Earth behind? And what's it mean for our future if we do?
I mean, ultimately, if we're able to become a spacefaring civilization, a multi-planet species, and ultimately a multi-stellar species, and go out there and explore all these star systems, I think we may find that there are many long one-planet civilizations. And as you've heard me say before, we don't want to be one of those lame one-planet civilizations. I mean, we want to be a multi-planet civilization, ultimately be a multi-stellar civilization, be out there among the stars. Like, make science fiction not fiction forever. Kind of make Star Trek real. So that's why I think that there's a high urgency to making life multiplanetary. Because this is the first time in Earth's 4.5 billion year history that it's been possible to extend life or consciousness beyond Earth. And we've got to do that while civilization is still strong. So that's the overarching goal of the company, is extend life sustainably to another planet. Mars is the only option, really. And to do, ideally before World War III or some kind of bad thing.
Elon Musk's super eager to speed up turning Mars into a self-sustaining civilization, and he thinks that big rocket's the key to getting us there.
The key thing is that we need enough people and enough tonnage on Mars such that Mars can survive and continue consciousness even if something would happen to Earth. Now, I still think, obviously, I'm not talking about abandoning Earth or anything like that, and we want Earth to be as good as possible for as long as possible, but there are certain things that may be outside of our control. So we want to just get Mars to be a self-sustaining civilization as quickly as possible. And I think this can be done in around 20 years. And this giant Starship factory that we're building is obviously key to that. And the launch sites that we're building here and at the Cape and elsewhere in the future will be key to that. Nobody ever thought that this was possible, but we're not breaking any physics to achieve this. So this is within the bound, without breaking physics, we can do this. So the Mars missions are 2 years apart, or 26 months. And if you look closely at the Starlink router, you see the home and transfer from Earth orbit to Mars orbit. And that's basically to say to people, the Starlink system that you're buying is helping get humanity to Mars. I think it's pretty cool. So roughly every 2 years, thousands of ships would depart from Earth to Mars. It would look like Battlestar Galactica, but in a good way, hopefully without being chased by the Cylons. But it would be an incredible thing to see these thousands of ships departing every 26 months for Mars. What this diagram is basically saying is that for getting to Mars, we would essentially create a kind of a propellant depot ship. The propellant depot would look more like a hot dog than like a sphere. It's really just a long ship with a lot of insulation, and we'd fill that ship up, and then shortly before, or as they're going to Mars, the ships would take off with, a couple hundred tons of payload from Earth, reach orbit with almost no propellant, and then get refilled by the tanker, and then go to Mars and go all the way to Mars with over 200 tons of useful payload.
Elon Musk breaks down what it takes to build a civilization on Mars, making us wonder if we're really ready to tackle the immense challenges of living on another planet.
Then on Mars, in the beginning, we would simply reuse the ship materials, so most of the ships wouldn't come back, but then over time you'd want to bring the ships back so you could reuse them. And for that we would need to create methane, CH4, and oxygen, O2 on Mars, which you can do with H2O and CO2. So the atmosphere is CO2, and there's plenty of water ice, H2O. And so it's tailor-made for, well, actually, the reason we have a methane and oxygen system is because you can make methane and oxygen on Mars fairly easily. Like that's not a total walk in the park, but the ingredients are readily available to create methane and oxygen on Mars. So you build a propellant depot and bring the ships back and build out, as quickly as possible, a self-sustaining civilization on Mars. We can bring all the creatures with us, and we can ensure that life on Earth continues on Mars, even after Earth becomes unlivable in the distant future, and ultimately made in large numbers. Because if we send, say, 1 million people to Mars, then that's 1 million spacesuits, or 1 million Mars suits that you need. So we'll have to make a lot of these things. And we're also going to launch Starlink on that flight. We want to have a spacesuit that you can walk around in, because if you're on the moon, you want to be able to walk around on the moon, walk around on Mars. So having a high mobility spacesuit that actually isn't crazy expensive, ideally, and that you can walk around in comfortably is a big deal. It's actually an important thing that needs to be developed. That's really the key test. Do we become a self-sustaining multi-planet civilization while civilization still exists, or don't we? I think that's really the key question. I think we've got a good chance, but it's not a sure thing. That's why time is of the essence. I think we want to make Mars self-sustaining as quickly as possible. It's not just a question of getting people to Mars, but it's getting enough tonnage and equipment to Mars to enable Mars to be self-sustaining. The key test being that if the resupply ships from Earth stop coming for any reason, does Mars out, or does it continue?
Elon Musk's sharing the stuff that's been blowing his mind lately, making us think about the mysteries we haven't quite cracked yet.
What's really mind-boggling is that number should increase by 50% this year. So I guess on the order of like 90% of all mass to orbit, not counting Starship. So as we start launching Starship is like roughly 100 tons to orbit with every flight. There's a path to getting Starship to do over 200 tons with full reusability. So 200 tons to useful orbit with full reusability. And yeah, it's really an incredible amount. 1,200 tons of useful load to orbit last year. Yeah, that's just astounding. So I think that really deserves a round of applause. Like wow, I mean, that's the most mind-blowing. And the rate of increase is just astonishing. Now, these numbers will actually look very small in the future. In order to build a city on Mars, we'll need to be kind of in the 1 million ton to orbit range. So maybe a little higher, ideally a little higher, but it's sort of, if you just try to get things to the right order of magnitude, like not trying to get to an exact number, but try to get the order of magnitude right. I think it's on the order. It's roughly 1 million tons to Earth orbit. That'll get you roughly 200,000 tons to the surface of Mars. So roughly, approximately 20% of whatever you get to Earth orbit, you can get to the surface of Mars.
Getting Mars self-sustaining means we need to bring over 1 million tons of useful stuff to its surface, and that's no joke. Are we ready for the huge task of stocking up a whole new society on Mars? And what's the plan to make it happen?
And figure like maybe we need at least 1 million tons of useful load to the surface of Mars for it to become self-sustaining. That self-sustaining threshold is actually a very tough threshold to meet, because even if you're missing a tiny thing, then eventually that Mars will die out. So you've got to be able to not just build, for example, computer chips, but you need to be able to build computer chip factories. Because if you can't build computer chip factories, the factory that you do build will eventually break down, and then you will have no chips, and then that's it. So it's kind of like a long sea voyage where if you're just missing vitamin C, yeah, you'll cruise on for a while, but then, your teeth will fall out and you'll... So that was a real problem in the old days. Anyway, it's quite a high threshold, and like Mars is a fixer-upper of a planet. Needs some work, but so it's not like you can just run around outdoors and fish or live off the land. You can't live off the land on Mars. So it's really quite a lot of work that's required to make that work.
Elon Musk's talking about his big plan to go multiplanetary, especially with Mars in mind. But are we truly prepared for the mind-bending shift to living on multiple planets?
This is the long-term goal. This is what we want Mars to look like, is starships coming and going, an incredible, beautiful Mars city, and a flourishing civilization on Mars. Ultimately, we can transform Mars into an Earth-like planet with terraforming. Just needs to be warmed up, really, and then it could be ultimately an Earth-like planet, and we could bring the life from Earth. We could extend life from Earth to Mars, and really, it has to be humans. Actually, the key question, sort of, I think, about for civilization is. The key test, perhaps, for civilization is: do we make it through this Fermi Great Filter of going from a one-planet civilization to a multi-planet civilization?
Elon Musk's breaking down the layers of Mars and Earth, making us wonder about the forces that shape them.
It appears highly likely that Mars had liquid oceans, albeit a long time ago. There's a lot of ice, so Mars is covered in ice. And now the ice is then covered in dust for the mostly, except at the poles. So there's a lot of ice. The evidence suggests that it is most likely that Mars had liquid water. Well, just over time, the solar system cooled. So Earth used to be much hot. In the very early Earth was like molten rock. So really almost nothing could survive in the beginning. We were just a wall of lava. We're still mostly a wall of lava. We're like creme brulee. Like there's a thin crust, and it's mushy rock very hot mushy rock underneath. And technically, that rock is in a semi-solid state. But as soon as it gets to a low pressure, like pops out of the ocean, you have a volcano, obviously, with lava.
Yeah.
So it's at surface ambient pressure, we're basically covered in liquid rock.
Are you aware?
We're a thin crust on liquid rock. Well, at first, you would have to have a life support system because Mars has a low-density atmosphere, only about 1% the density of Earth, and it's primarily CO2. Now, over time, you can terraform Mars. Terraform means make it like Earth, essentially. And if you warm Mars up, there's a bunch of frozen CO2 that will evaporate, densify the atmosphere, and you'd actually want kind of global warming on Mars. Because Mars is about 50% further away from the sun than the Earth. So it gets about less than half the solar energy that Earth does. And this is the first time in the history of Earth that in 4.5 billion years of Earth's existence that it's been possible to extend life and consciousness to another planet. So that window is now open for the first time in 4.5 billion years. Now, it may stay open for a long time, but it may also close. And I think so we should just take advantage of the time when the window is open to make life multiplanetary and ensure that the tiny candle of consciousness in a vast darkness continues to burn, does not go out. I think Starlink is enough. There's a little diagram on the Starlink router. It's for people probably don't notice, but it's a Hohmann transfer from Earth to Mars. So if you look on your Starlink router, you'll see that transfer diagram. That is the means by which life becomes multiplanetary.